Hello and welcome to Mama T Energy. I'm Tiara, aka Mama T, and I invite you on a journey to loving your life through stories, channeled messages, and energy work. I love life, and it is my mission to guide you and millions like us to discovering our passion for life. Let's open our hearts and dive in. Today, we are featuring Cindy Stal, aka Queen of Embodiment. She is a mom, author, and self built seven-figure CEO. She focuses on embodying powerful leadership while staying soft in your body and in your feminine. With her business, Cindy empowers women, especially entrepreneurs, to reclaim their intuitive and sexual power. This results in conversations about money, intuitive leadership, and feeling free, safe, and embodied in your vision. Cindy, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. So, I love getting to know a little bit more about the start of your journey. So, can you talk a little bit about how you got into the work that you do now?
Yeah, it has been such a journey. I always worked in sales and marketing, like 60 hours a week. And then my first husband was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And I still remember the moment because I wasn't that spiritual. At least I had it blocked for myself, like completely. And um, I remember being in the hospital while he had surgery, and there was this typical hospital church. And I went there like totally sad and alone. And I sat there and I heard myself praying to God while I didn't really go to church and stuff, but I started praying to God like we do in moments like that. And all of a sudden, I heard a voice talking to me, and but there was nobody in the church. And I looked around and I thought it was like really spooky at first. But then I closed my eyes again, and this voice said something. I don't recall the exact words at the moment, but it was something like follow your passion. That will always pay off. And if you do what you are called to do and follow your passion, there will always be more than enough. You will always be provided for. And I was the woman working like 60 hours a week, and I thought, well, what the fuck? But um, yeah, my husband got into this whole hospital, how do you say that, with his surgery and all the things. And it wasn't just his journey with cancer, and he died, and I am the woman who was at the same table in the hospital. I was 28 at the time, and I am still living. And I also feel like it's my privilege to fully live. I feel like I had the choice. What do you choose? Because this came out of the blue. We were happy, fully living. Yeah, not fully living, not like now, but we were living our lives the best as we could at the time. And it opened up everything. So that was the start. And I quit my job after getting burned out. And I started my business with only 3,000 euros in the bank. I jumped, and yeah, it probably it went from there. I started with helping women tune into their heart and build the life of their dreams. And I ended up helping mostly entrepreneurs, but also women with a dream or a passion. And yeah, it's still connected to their heart because to me, everything comes back to opening your heart and really fully living from the heart and choosing life, because we can live and still not choose life. And
Mhm.
yeah,
Can
I
you
think.
speak a little bit on the so when you say like you've heard a voice, right?
Mhm.
And you weren't necessarily super spiritual at the time, what
Mhm.
do you think made you trust in that voice and follow through with it?
Um, I think um, moments like that open us up because I had a same thing when my daughter was stillborn. We have an 8-year-old son and now a baby boy of 8 months. But before my last boy, we had a daughter who was stillborn with
Mm,
41 weeks. And when she died, I had a typical kind of moment when then I hear that voice say, you have to keep your heart open. Otherwise,
mm,
you will not get through this the way you want to live. And I think I've, these moments were so almost like out of this world. There was no option not to follow it.
mm.
Because I was always really black and white, kind of skeptical, sarcastic, and I can still be sarcastic, but from a good way. But I was really this yeah, black and white is this or that, and da 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 da. But there was no, there was no other choice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Lately, I've been pulling cards on like social media and stuff, and the tower card keeps coming out for people. And those moments sound like tower card moments where it's just like
Yeah.
you have, like you said, no other option but to lead in faith and trust and move forward. So, from working with women and their heart spaces, how do you get them on board with trusting that heart space?
I truly believe that, especially when it's a sexual healing journey,
Mhm.
sexual energy draws women in, it calls women. It's also something you can't explain. Women just know that they have to do something with their sexuality because often it's combined with a fear
Mm.
of losing something. The goddess, God challenges you, walk this path, walk through this passage, and yeah, you don't know. But I also believe that that's the true feminine. We are made for life and death, rebirth, all of these things. It's natural, it's season, it's cycles. And I believe that the women that I work with have to come from desire or either fully ready. And in a way that's also desire, but it can desire is almost like, oh, it's so fluffy and magical and glitter unicorns and gold and da 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 da. And sometimes it's a moment like, um I just left my abusive relationship.
Mm.
I My life is completely different than what it always used to be. I feel like I'm fully aligned, but alignment looks like, yeah, the other side of the medal. Totally different.
Yes, yes. I love the fact that you said that your clients have to be ready, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is so important when we look at connecting with people and working with people and manifesting. For those of you who are entrepreneurs listening, manifesting your dream clients, because when we feel like we have to handhold every step of the journey, it brings people that are not necessarily at the vibration that you're looking for. It makes being a leader, being a coach, being an entrepreneur harder when you have to like handhold the client through every step of the process rather than actually working in our magic. So I love that you said that. Can you
Yeah,
talk a
it
little bit?
honors,
Yeah,
it
go ahead.
also honors yourself because it's all energy. And I believe your people are also really energy frequency based kind of
Yeah.
people. And you have to honor your energy first because otherwise there will be, you will see their vision and they are still in their shadow, and shadow is not bad, but not willing to alchemize your shadow is bad for your energy on the other side of the line.
Mhm. Can you talk a little bit deeper about sexual power and what that means for you and your clients?
Most of my clients, not all, but a lot, come from unsafe upbringings, either it's sexual abuse, um, bad relationships, an abusive dad, emotional abuse, like unsafety is a
Hmm.
theme. And um, sexual energy helps you reclaim your power, helps you, no matter where you came from, helps you create the life you feel and envision for yourself and wants to be born through you. Because our
Hmm.
desires call us, and the fact that we can feel them, yeah, I can feel different things than you. So if I feel it, it's already in my energy field. So it's up to me to create it. But if we come from unsafety, I feel sexual energy is your natural healing blanket. Beauty, sexual energy, sensuality, it all heals in a natural way. And unsafe teams can bring up a lot.
Hmm.
But sexual energy gives you the power to dive into it and also gives you yeah, the pleasure, because there can still be love and pleasure and that kind of frequencies, even when your whole life got disrupted or
Hmm.
you're in complete darkness for your own feeling.
Yes. There's so much space to enjoy pleasure, even if you are in a space of like grief and pain.
Yeah.
Um, I love the phrase allow pleasure to interrupt your pain. So even, like allowing yourself to laugh, even if you are, you've lost someone close to you and dear to you, and you're going through that whole turmoil, and you have a moment where you have a memory of them, and that brings like laughter. There's like this bitter sweetness to those kind of moments. So allowing that pleasure through. Can you
Yeah.
speak on your journey with, coming into pleasure and this understanding?
Yeah. I believe I was called by sexual energy. I had this. You have Martin gave. I don't know. Sexual healing. That's a song, and
Marvin
that
Gaye, yes.
that was constantly playing in my head. And at the start of my journey, I had all of these songs leading me, and I think still in moments where it's like walking to the edge and one foot in front of the other, I still have that with songs. That songs lead me. And sexual healing was constantly in my mind. And I think this is maybe the strangest thing that I ever said on a podcast is that I started to smell sex. And I was
Mm,
really wondering, what is this? But I could smell it, and it and it, but maybe that's because then it almost got so weird that I had to ask questions and I
mhm,
had to start thinking, what is this? Because the moment that I started to ask questions and meditated on myself, the smell, yeah, was gone. And I think that was the beginning, but there was also hidden sexual abuse in my body that my body kept from me for years and
mhm,
was secret in my family. And I think the call of working with your sexual energy comes when a woman is ready. And for me, it was being ready to dive into this abuse, heal it from the body, and yeah, open up to more pleasure because my desire was leading me, but my desire could only come so far as that my heart was ready to heal or my body was ready to, yeah, to let go of all this memory
mhm.
and stagnant energy.
What can it look like to start that releasing process?
I believe it's different in a way. For each woman, I believe it's a very personal
Mhm,
journey. But we can say, start working with a yoni egg, and then your body can start to shake. For example, your legs can shake, and it's trauma leaving the body. But it can also be dreaming, letting go through in your journal, through tears. Sometimes the body gets sick. I think the more we work with sexual energy, the less we have to abuse the body, so the less sick or that kind of stuff we need to be. But yeah, the body will release, and the body has ways to do that, and these are some of those ways.
Mhm. I want to dive deeper into the sick because that's something that
Mhm.
I align with too. The Our bodies will show us signs through illness and pain when we are not taking care of ourselves or we're trying to avoid a certain situation or processing information or emotion. And then our body will be like, well, nope, this is here. You got to let it go. So, can you speak on that a little bit more?
Yeah, one of my one-on-one clients uses the phrase a lot that the body is your last signal. It's you have
Mm,
ignored all the rest, and then there is the body. And I believe I, for example, had 2 or 3 years that I felt I want to take December off. I want the whole month of December to be off. But I had this partnership with another coach, and we did this magical thing every December. And every December I was sick. And the year after, I thought again, oh, yeah, December is mine. And then, yeah, but it was so much fun, and the clients love it, and da 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 da. Okay, do it. And again, 1 week or 2 weeks, I was sick or had a cold or whatever. We all self-sabotage, ignore, we all do these things. We are all human. Um, and I think that's that. And we are we are always invited to, really listen to our own bodies, because they say your body is your temple, and in a way, it is like that. And we all self-sabotage, maybe with food, with whatever it is that we do, with sex, with hard work. But we all heal, and we are all on our own journey. But the more we listen to the body, and the more we free the body from generational trauma and sexual trauma and that kind of stuff, the more we can be us, and the deeper our soul can, yeah, anchor into our
mm.
body.
I thank you. I love that conversation and that message. It's so important for us to really take the time to listen to our body and go on our own personal journey to figure out what needs to be let go and how is best for us individually. Like you said, it's very personal, very individual, and it's nice to have someone kind of guide with us through the journey, but we still kind of have to figure it out on our own. So can you
Yeah.
speak a little bit to what it looks like to work with you?
Yeah, I said a woman needs to be ready. I have different ways. I have self-study programs. I have sometimes a live launch. I have my membership. Um, and I have my higher one-on-one mentorship. And for that, it truly always feels to me like it's a rebirth. It's for women who either have to go on this sexual healing journey, or, for example, build their business to 7 figures and then think, oh, what kind of monster did I create along the way? This is not my highest line. This cannot be my highest alignment. And we need to pivot the business. And that comes with the same unsafety in a way, because if we start building our businesses, it's all fun and it's still a risk, but we come with this almost, yeah, childish kind of excitement,
Mhm.
Everything is new, and we build and we build and we build. And then we have built something, but pivot that, it's like trying to pivot the Titanic. It comes with the same kind of anxiety and stuff, because you have something to lose. And at
Mhm.
the beginning, you are the beginner. And now you think, but this is what people expect from me. This is how people see me. And this is what brings in the money. I am the sole provider, whatever it is. All of this stuff can come up, and then heal and go back to the start, like, you are always provided for. Yes, you get to choose this. Yes, you can choose pleasure again. Yes, you're not selfish if you build this and you think that people expect this, but you want to start writing books or you want to whatever it is that you want to. And really let God again lead and not you who has a following and status. And that sometimes also, I think, where especially women who build something financially can not sabotage, but control it a bit. You know, we can call it alignment. Yeah, people buy it, but it's not your highest alignment. And to me, sexual energy is about the highest alignments. It's either yes or it's no. It's not like, oh, in between or maybe or whatever.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's awesome. In that same vein, so with like people who are maybe they're in an actual job, like you talked about working in sales and working,
Mhm.
what was it, 90 hours, 60 hours a week?
60 hours, yeah.
Oh, I mean, I did the 50 hours, so close, but not quite that bad. But when coming from a space where it's like I have this security, I have this job, but I really want to chase my dream. Can you speak a little bit more on that, making that shift to entrepreneurship?
Mhm. Um, I tried to do it a safe way. I asked my boss in the Netherlands, you had this system that they can fire you and you still get money from the government every month, and then you have to go find another job in between. And I thought, okay, let's say that, and then they will fire you. And my boss said, well, she never has the guts to leave us. So I will say no, she will stay, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, no, I can't say this is what I want and then not go because she is not willing to give me the safe way out. So I said yes. And I said, okay, in 2 months, I will be leaving. And then I left the office and I thought, fuck, what did I do? But I've had so many months, like weeks, months building up to that moment. And there was no other way. I was literally dying there. I always say this to my clients. I was working in an office that had a gray desk, gray floors, gray walls. And when I looked out of the window, I saw a gray building, another building, another building. There was gray everywhere.
Mm.
And I didn't sign up for the gray life. So I left, and I think that's my path. And for a lot of my clients, I'm not saying it's the only one, but what I often see with women, if you try to take the easy route or the safe way, or we can say, yeah, that's good for your nervous system and blah, 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 blah. But if we are energy workers, everything is energy. And I was literally dying there. So I could built my business there, but then I was in this kind of dying energy, and then I wanted to build my business up. So I had to do this in these little hours that I had and just jumping. And I always said, if there is a universe, then if I choose me, my health, my energy, then I will be provided for. That was the same voice that I once heard. And I could go back to that voice and say, okay, if this is true, then I am following my passion and I will be provided for. And yeah, I just started to follow women who did what I wanted to do. I watched them do it. I manifested my first 600 euros for a course that I wanted to do. I sold all the stuff that I had in and outside the house, and I manifested my first $600, bought my ticket, and started my business. And I think every time that I thought, oh, I'm not going to make it, and I asked my dad, for example, for money, and he didn't give it to me. I asked a friend, no, he said, no, I'm not going to give it to you. And in a way, that was the best way because I had to dive in to my body, my truth, my intuition. And there is always a way.
Mhm.
And that was a lot from struggle trying to find it out, trial and error. But we can also do it. I always say to my clients that are, yeah, the ones building the business from like, yeah, the ground on up, if I was them again, I would enjoy more because you
Mm.
can enjoy so much more than I did building the business. And I always ask them, how do you want to make this money? What is your desire leading? Because our intuition is also sometimes leading with money. My intuition is often leading either with songs or with money. Maybe it's not spiritual to some, but my intuition is always leading with money because the human me was satisfied with 2K a month and having to being able to buy sushi, for my own business. I was perfectly happy. And my soul is always saying, no, there's more, no, there's more, no,
Mhm.
there's more. And the baby Cindy always has to, yeah, follow the soul because still if you would ask me, I am happy now. But the soul says, no, there's more. No, there's more. No, there's more. And if we go and create from that energy, yeah, it's a lot more fun. And we can always, just like you said, we can always add pleasure in. We can always add joy in. It's really a choice. It doesn't matter at what stage in your life you are and what season.
Mm. I love the permission to have fun in business
Yeah.
and growth and this expansion process. It's so important. And it feels like that's God's own frequency for me right there. Is
Yeah.
like giving ourselves the fun, the freedom, the ability to play in this. And it also kind of leans itself to detaching from the outcome, which I find to be some people's hardest thing is like, I really, really want this experience. And you hold on to it so tightly that it ends up energetically pushing it away. But if we're having fun, we're just easily attracting it.
Yeah, and especially just I told that to a client this morning. I built my business like God is my employer. I have to do what comes through my channel, and I am always provided for. And my ego had to let go that it had to come through the business because, as much as I thought that there would be bosses waiting for me when I started my business, there were not many clients at the start of my business. And but there was always the money, and it came from that way and that way and that way. There was always money out of thin air. And I think still, because that's what I always do now, we are women, we are in seasons, and as much as sometimes Instagram shows us that women grow like this, I don't believe it. We grow like this, and we have seasons and cycles and death and rebirth, we have all the things. And if we are open for money to come through all the ways out of thin air from magic from God and not like I'm going to launch this and this has to work and da, and this is what I used to do and that's what no, it kills everything. And if you're open and if we are honest, if my neighbor tomorrow would say, hey Sin, here is 20K or something, or here's 5K, I wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. And yeah, we have to kill the ego because we all, oh, I want 50 clients in my program, what this and that. But there is something like timing and energy being perfectly orchestrated. And the more we, yeah, let that work for us and the more fun we have along the way and chill and lean into that, yeah, it there is always more magic. If you really let it in, it can't get that special if you control it.
Mm.
You kill the magic for yourself.
Ah, I love that is so powerful, so poignant. Thank you. Don't kill the magic, guys.
Yeah.
I love the permission to like let the ego go and allow money to show up always in all the ways. That is so amazing. I think I want to go back to that statement of I need to have, 22 members inside my mastermind. This is how I'm making my money versus, money can show up anyway. Like that's where the miracles happen. When
Yeah.
just like, unexpected checks in the mail, the neighbor is gonna just give you $20,000. Like what? Crazy.
Yeah.
But it's magic and it's frequency and it's freeing and who cares where it comes from. I think sometimes we get caught up in, well, if my mom gives me the money or my dad or this person, that person, we make it mean something less about ourselves if it's not
Yeah.
from our business or a job or the traditional ways. We're not successful if it's just given to us. But if
Yeah.
God is signing our paychecks, source, the universe, the divine is signing our paychecks, then let it come through the most easiest way possible.
Yeah, yeah, and I've had clients with 100K in savings and not feeling safe with money or not feeling joy with money. So it says nothing about how much money you have, and it's exactly that. If our mom gives us money and we judge that money, we judge the whole frequency. We spoil that judging, and we are not enough, and no, that's not okay. It's almost like the universe knocks on your door, says, "Here is 100 euros from your mom," and you, no, I don't need it. I want it to come from a new client. No, you say thank you, bring me more if you feel called. But how I love how this money showed up magically, and I think especially the online coaching industry needs more magic again, because you feel, at least that's how I see it and what I've seen throughout the years. Sometimes I see women just starting their business have so much more fun and work much more aligned than some women who already have a lot more figures in the bank account. And I think as much as the earth is shifting, that's something that we have to shift as well. And we have to be really honest at ourselves. Are we really letting magic in, or are we letting our controlling Mindy run our business?
Mm, yes. Letting the magic in
Yeah.
and saying that, would you be open for a tarot reading?
Yeah.
All
Mhm.
right, let's do it.
Cool.
My
Mhm.
cards are right here. All righty. Is there something specific you would like the reading on, or would you like a general message?
I think general is okay.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do it.
There is not something coming to mind now, so let's make it general.
I love it.
Surprise me.
Yes. Mm, all right. Got like five cards that jumped out, so that's fun. I think this is like perfect because it's 2025, and so it's like a theme of like five, and we love that. So, and there's a lot of like major arcana cards here. The first three cards are major arcana cards. So we have the Chariot. And I feel like this is not just for you, Cindy, but for everybody listening
Yeah.
this message with the Chariot is really saying like there is a direction we have, our soul has a calling and it's telling us where to go. And the Hierophant is saying that we have to be our own guru and listening to our soul and listening to following that. Like when you said that you heard follow your pleasure and it's all gonna show up for you, right? So we are invited to be the fool and take a leap of faith. Ah, so good. We have to take a leap of faith. And as we are on this journey, we are kind of in competition with our human, our mind, our logical mind, and that soul, right? Like we're like, oh wait, but this, going back to the conversation about I need this many people in my mastermind or in my business versus why not just allow money to show up however it shows up? So it's just making sure that as that competition is happening, we let our soul shine through. And that's that Six of Wands. So, like, allowing the soul to shine through, allowing the pleasure, allowing that sexual energy to take precedence over that logical mind and allowing it to step back. So, this is fantastic. I love it in
And really
full.
receive it because that was on the card. The card has this sign, and that's what I
Yes.
always say to clients. If you don't open up your arms to the universe, then nothing can come. So that's what I often do in the garden. I just stand like that and I connect to the universe and I say, spoil me, delight me, and dive into the body and all the things. So I
Ooh.
found that really typical as well. Cool.
I love it. I love it. I love the spoil me. Oh my gosh. I feel like there's a whole conversation around
Yeah.
that too. As someone, I grew up as an only child and I had to really work with, being called spoiled and feeling bad about being spoiled. And so that's something that kind of manifested within my body
Yeah.
of being like, it's wrong to be spoiled. It kind of became my like, I didn't really put words to it as a child, but it was something that just kind of grew into me. So anytime I just received magic money, I was like, I don't like, I didn't earn it. I'm spoiled. I don't like, and I would like kind of shut down and I didn't know how to say thank you and be grateful. And even if I said thank you, it would feel like I'm not being grateful enough. I'm not doing enough to just
Mm.
receive. So
Yeah.
now it's like this like beautiful space of being like, yes, spoil me. Allow like I
Yeah.
am here. I surrender. I allow all the magic and miracles to just shower down on me because that's what it's meant to be. That's how life is meant to be.
Yeah, and I think you say something really important with this from your story as a child, because that's what I always say to my son, and I've been judged to spoil my child, but I don't think I spoil him. But my son always says, yeah, money comes from everywhere. There's always money, and he's always talking about money with his friends if it comes up. And then I see these moms look at him and all the things, but I think we have grown up with such a, yeah, let's say not abundant kind of upbringing, or not a constant abundance, or not a trust in abundance. And especially for moms, that your children believe that money is always there for them. And yes, still they have to learn to work and all these things that we tell children and stuff. But if they follow their passion, there will always be money. And we are just their, yeah, guidance to lead them on their path and not
Mhm.
necessarily our path. And our children know exactly how to create abundance. Children are the best magical creators that are on this earth. So let your children lead the way.
Yes, 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 exactly. Perfect. Let the children lead the way. Get more into your childlike wonder and all
Yeah.
of the magic and abundance that comes with it. For anyone that's interested in connecting with you, Cindy, what's the best way for them to connect?
On Facebook, just Cindy Stal, or on Instagram, Spotify. You can also find me and my podcast. Yeah, I think that's that. And come join me on the wait list for my Pussy Oracle that comes out, because that will be really magical. And I wish it would have already come out because I saw it and we could have done it in reading, but it's not there yet. So
It's all perfect in divine timing. I'm sure you'll come back another time and when it's out and we'll do something magical with that. So yes, you
cool.
guys, if you feel called to connect with Cindy, please do so. Of course, you can always go to mamateenergy.com to tap into all the things that I have going on right now. Is there anything else that you would like to share, Cindy, before we hop off?
Um, to check if your heart is open during the day, because that's what I learned when I lost my daughter, that our hearts tend to close so many times. And since I lost my daughter, I teach this to all of my clients, and it's a major shift for each and every one of them, no matter where they are on their journey. So maybe set a timer in your phone, or do it anyway else, but lay one hand on your heart or just set the intention and feel. You can feel it if you put your hand on your heart, if your heart is open, if there is energy. And you would be surprised, even as an intuitive woman, how often your heart is closed. And if you start tuning into your heart, you will see and you will start to notice the moments when you tend to close. And if you can leave her open, then you will make such a shift in your own healing. And it's so easy. It's such, well, it's not easy to keep it open in some moments, but this is not something that you have to buy a course for or whatever,
Mhm.
or pay 100K to some magical guru. It's just you, hand on your heart, set a timer on your phone 3 times a day, and check in with yourself. Is my heart open or not? See in which situations your heart tends to close, and can you leave it open?
I love that. Such a beautiful, powerful message. Something that came through for me was, I like habit stacking. So every time you take a sip of water, because we should be drinking more water, right? Anyway, but every time you take a sip of water, check in with your heart too, making it a very
Yeah.
connected experience, make it a magical experience, and keep your hearts open, friend.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Cindy. Thank you
Yeah, thank you
all.
so much for
Thank
having me.
Yes, I love it. Thank you all for listening. Sending you so much magic, sending you so much love, and I will see you where I see you next.